Welcome and good morning, everybody, to another day of Spotlight Talent Talk Community Spotlight. I just wanted to welcome my cohort, my partner in crime, Christy Salcedo.
Good morning, everyone.
Steve Chung.
So today is actually our 87th episode. So we've been doing this a bit now. And
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Christy?
We are doing good. We're getting pumped. We're still a little sleepy, but we're waking up. We have our coffee. So good. How are you doing, Steve?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome to our John L. Scott Talent Talk, our community spotlight. Good morning, Nikki. We see you out there. But thank you for tuning in. One of the things that we've done is really wanted to help the community by doing a community spotlight and really focusing in on helping our locally owned small businesses within our community and helping promote them and just bring light to their business. So we've got a great guest coming up for you today. Christy, do we want to hint at who it is?
Yes, of course. So we have Ace Hardware DuPont owner Ted Dannick with us today. So we are very excited to introduce him and kind of learn a little more about his business and what they're all about. So, but we do have a trivia question. You guys are ready for that? So what year was Ace Hardware founded? Was it 1918, 1924, 1956, or 1972? So maybe we'll have coming up right now, we're going to have those questions pop up. Go ahead and put your answer in.
Yes, so Ted's going to be Ted, and he is the owner of the DuPont Ace Hardware. He was going to be joining us here in a second, but we'll have him give you the answer kind of after we do our interview. But I want to introduce Ted Dannick, owner of DuPont Ace Hardware. He's been running the business for several years now. Ace Hardware and DuPont is a veteran-owned, family-owned and operated business here in our community. So without further ado, let's introduce Ted Dannick. Good morning, Ted.
Morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me, Christy. Good to see you. Thanks.
Good to see you.
So, Ted, appreciate you coming on. Tell us, how long has DuPont Ace Hardware been in business?
Well, we just passed our first anniversary. We opened up in July, and the COVID's kind of gotten in the way. Usually we have a big 1-year anniversary party. I don't know. We may have to change this to a spring fling or something.
I like that, spring fling. Wow. Okay. All right. And what did you do? I mean, you just opened up the Ace Hardware in DuPont. Now, what did you do before that?
Most of my life's been in public service for the government. I was in the Air Force for 21 years. Actually, a total of 25, but 21 that count. That's how I just describe it. And then I wandered into municipal government, which I really enjoyed. I guess I'm more cut from the service cloth than anything else. I was in the private sector for a couple of years, but frankly, I couldn't get very excited about a 10% increase in sales when it was, and there's nothing against the industry, but it was all money and financial stuff.
Okay.
And you mentioned COVID, putting a damper on that 1-year anniversary period. So how has COVID affected your business?
Well, it's I look at it two sides. There's a business side and the community side, or the personal human being side. And like, I'll start with the human side first, because I appreciate that more than, again, like I said, the business side. But it's been tough on all of us, and we haven't seen any difference from anyone else. We've been blessed and lucky that, unlike some of the service industries like restaurants and some of the larger retailers, we haven't had the business effect. So when COVID first started, but is locked down, the hardware stores were deemed essential in Washington for good reason. Your water mains and your water lines and plumbing and electrics don't care about a virus. You got to have parts available. So we got a small bump because we're one of the few places open. But as everybody opened up, we've settled back into kind of a normal hardware pattern where most of your sales are in the spring, got a slow summer, fall, and then you get a little bump at Christmas and it comes back in the spring. So I think we're on track, and overall, it really hasn't affected us on the business side.
And I did notice that during COVID, there was a lot of, especially on social media, I did see a lot of people doing at-home projects and home renovations. Is that something that you guys noticed too?
We sure did. I mean, I call it pent-up time. If you have to look at the bright side of something, we have a lot of pent-up time. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the families have kids that, were supposed to be in school, so they've got to do something. So for a good 3 or 4 months, you couldn't find sand anywhere, much less Ace Hardware and DuPont. So things like sand, some of the hand tools where people were doing gardening, the mulch, the fertilizer, those were just flying off the shelves. And I think that's because people finally had time to do what they have kind of always wanted to do.
Yeah. Right. Ted, being like a small veteran-owned business here in the area, and thinking about your business, what sets your business apart from the competitors? Maybe even how do you compete against some of the big box stores?
Well, I think it's all about service, and it's not just customer service. That's a big part of it, but it's about service to the community. When you come in and buy a mower, for instance, from me, you can call us up and say, hey, this isn't working, or I know you showed this to me, but how does this work again? And we've actually gone to people's houses and showed them again in their own lawn with their own stuff, so that, and people are always thankful. And I said, well, just remember, Big Orange and Big Blue won't come to your house. That's for sure. They'll give you an 800 number. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a different business model, right? I mean, they're a quantity, we're more of a quality. So we focus on service to our community. We make sure that when you come in for a gallon of paint, say, you've considered all the things you're going to need, the drop cloths, the tape, the brushes. And that way we save you trips. That's kind of our goal. We all do it. You make 6 trips on a Saturday to do something. It's frustrating. So if we can get you down to 1, we're very happy. But, frankly, if we can cut you in half through good service, that's what we do.
I love that business model being just about service and giving back to the community, and just that personalized touch that you don't necessarily get from some of the big box stores or larger companies.
Exactly. And in their defense, there's nothing wrong. They can't do it. It's impossible when they sell 2,000 bags of fertilizer today for them to walk you through all their choices and explain what would be the best. Our folks are knowledgeable. They take training. They've studied. We have ACE classes. So the other thing that we do, I think a lot of ACEs do, but we really focus on is if I don't know the answer, I'm not going to make something up or let you leave with a, well, I think it's, we'll find someone in the store that knows what's going on and get you squared away.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super important. Especially for, I've been trying to get into like different projects now during this time, especially during COVID. We just bought a house, so we're constantly looking for things to fix in the house because everything's falling apart. But that's super important because I wouldn't even know where to start. A lot of things I would just look on YouTube, but having that hands-on, someone being able to walk me through the steps is way easier because the way I think, it's just, that would help so much more. Yeah, that's awesome. That's great that you guys are doing that. So what do you love most about your business and, being a business owner?
I think it's meeting and serving people, frankly. There's a service element for me where my team, all the folks that work with me, they have a place to come, and we want it to be a fun place, and we want that to translate over to our service. But for me, it's getting to know people in the community. It is driving my own truck down the street and delivering things to people that either don't have the right equipment or would never be able to do this. We deliver for free. You just have to ask us. And I brought, with my bad back and all, I've brought tons of mulch to people that are elderly and would never be able to lift one bag. So that's what I appreciate. You get to know people, you get to talk to them. I think it's similar to the real estate business. You guys run into a lot of people, and John L. Scott's involved in the community and everybody knows you. And that's kind of the way we want to be.
Definitely. I think service is like a key thing, and that's what that sets people apart from just kind of the others, is like how much you can give back and be of service to the community. So I love that.
Yeah, I firmly believe that is the key to success. You might last long with good deals and sales and low prices, but if you don't back it up with knowledge and service, then people will find somewhere else to go.
Exactly.
Definitely. So what would be the best way for future clients to reach you?
Well, my preferred way is to swing by to the store and have a chat. I mean, unless we're really busy, we still like to be the corner community hardware store. Come in and just chit chat with us. But I know that we're moving away from that as a society. I'm an old guy, but I understand how things work. So the best way to do it is most likely drop us an email or give us a call on the phone. You can, and I know you're going to publish this, Christy, but to explain that we have our store websites embedded inside of Ace Hardware. So go to acehardware.com, look for the DuPont store, and then you'll get our information, things like that. We also have Facebook. We're going to be spooling up some more social media here shortly, but Facebook, website, phone call, things like that.
Okay. I still love the aspect of going in and being able to talk to people. Just like you said, Ted, like, how do we find you? You can find me at the store. I'm there. I'm to answer the questions, and just being kind of a part, someone to go to. I meant rather than some of the other places that you can go, the big box stores, you don't get that personalized service that you do from somewhere where it's locally owned, and you get that personalized touch with the people there. You know them, so you go back to them.
Right.
I think
especially DuPont being such a tight knit community that most people know each other. So that's crazy awesome.
And it's a really good, it's a great community here. You guys know that too. We get a lot of support, and as I said before, that the opportunity to meet people. You've seen them walking on the street, and I've seen people with dogs and kids, and you always say, geez, I wonder what's going on. And then they come in your store and you get to talk to them. And say, hey, I see you and your dog all the time. And then you have a nice conversation. And so it just brings the community together.
Yeah. Live in the community, know the community people. I mean, get to know them. That's what a lot of it's about. And that's what we're doing, is just trying to reach out to our community businesses and put that spotlight on them. So appreciate that, and you coming in, Ted. And
you want to help us answer the trivia question today?
Sure. Put me on a spot, testing my ACE history. We'll do it like they do with commercials and lead-in. We will eliminate the wrong answers. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I know it was in 1918. Okay. And I know that C and D were wrong, so it's B, 1924.
1924.
That is correct.
So
you know your Ace Hardware trivia.
Yeah, Ace Hardware is a co-op. A lot of people think it's a franchise, but it's not. And while it kind of acts the same way, legally and the way things work are completely different. So I own part of Big Ace, and they have to do in Chicago or headquarters what we, the owners, tell them, not the other way around. Now, they give us advice and train us, and you would probably not be very smart to ignore their experience. But at the end of the day, I can put things in my store at my own desire instead of having to follow some sort of cookie cutter sheet of things from headquarters. So that makes it really nice, and it gives us flexibility that a franchise owner wouldn't have necessarily.
I would like that business model better.
I do too, and nobody cares more about a company than the owners, and we all own a piece of it. And it's just it makes things nice. And it was formed by three people in Chicago area that were tired of paying high prices, so they literally formed a co-op in the traditional sense, and it's just gotten bigger over the years.
Wow.
So we do have a few comments. So Demetrius, good morning, Ted. Me and Michelle are very proud of you. Can't wait to visit DuPont in the near future. And then Jurgen said, speaking of orange and blue, have you been cured of your bronco fever yet?
No, but I'm taking medicine for it. My goodness, they're terrible the last few years. Jurgen, thanks a lot. For reminding me.
That's awesome.
Bronco fever.
Well, I tell people, he's like, oh, you live in Seattle there, you got to root for the Seahawks. I said, if you moved to Seattle, you wouldn't root for the Broncos, so leave me alone. They're like, yeah, good point. So I just sit here in my house and suffer a little bit, but they'll be back someday.
We're from Miami, and we were Dolphins fans, so you already know we haven't seen any action in a long time. As soon as we PCS'd over, my husband looks over, he's like, we're Seahawks fans now. I'm like, all right, I guess we're Seahawks fans. Go Broncos.
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay. Well, Ted, we appreciate you coming in. Thank you as always. And we look forward to seeing you around in the community.
Well, thanks again for having me. And before we go, if I got 5 more seconds, I just wanted to tell everybody out there.
Yeah.
We talked about service all day. I think service to our country, our community is very important. You should have picked up on that by now. I'm a vet. I don't like to blow that horn, but I try to employ vets, especially disabled vets. We've done pretty well there. So when you come in, we may not have a traditional hardware look, but we have and have been trying to hire a lot of vets and people that are connected to the military. We've got about 8 out of 11 who either were or a dependent or an Army or a military brat, which is a child of a service member. So we've got a pretty good military time. We've got the ability to give folks who need it time off for medical appointments and things like that. So most everybody in there has some sort of connection, just like DuPont, really. Yeah, connection to the military. So thank you again for your service. And to those of you who are out there watching, support your locally owned, veteran-owned businesses here in the community. DuPont Ace Hardware, definitely one of them. Show your support and love for the business.
Go check them out.
That's right.
Well, y'all have a great weekend, and thanks again for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being on.
That was awesome.
That was
another connection here within the community. Check out Ace Hardware and DuPont. Ted Dannick. Support your local business. So go shop at DuPont Ace and support my father-in-law. Yes, we will, Demetrius. Yes, we will. Happy
1-year anniversary.
Happy 1-year anniversary to you guys as well. So awesome.
All right, Steve. So do we have some events coming up this week?
You know what, Christy? Thank you. Yes, we do. We've got a couple of events we just kind of wanted to touch on right now. So this month, coming up for October, we actually have a Jumpstart training series going on for the month of October. If you are interested in getting your real estate license and want to kind of get a surface view of what being a realtor looks like and what the day-to-day activities are, go to our webpage. We have a Jumpstart training series starting up. It's Tuesdays from 5:30 to 7 o'clock for the next 4 weeks for the month of October. Also, this coming Friday, we have a Forms Friday class. It's a training class where we go into forms. We are going to be talking about the contingency addendum versus the contingent on closing addendum as well. And then also on Friday, we have our Friday market update with Davina and Jurgen, and they're going to be going over any new listings coming on the market, open houses, and just kind of an update on the status of the market. So what's going on in Thurston County, Pierce County, and the housing market in general. So if you have any questions regarding any of that, drop it in our comment section, put it in on our Facebook page. We'll be more than happy to answer them the next time we do this on the next show. So, all right, Christy, did we catch everything, get everything covered?
Yeah, I think we got it all covered.
I think we do. I think we did. So
We're ready to close out.
all right, you want to count us down?
I got this one, Steve. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in today. It was great having Ted on our show. So don't forget, if you're in DuPont, go check out that Ace Hardware. Great people, great service. You got to check them out. So, Steve, you ready with a 1, 2, 3?
Yep.
All right, guys. All right, 1, 2, 3. Be
Be
bold.
bold.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Guys.